Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger and my friends. So EVO 2022 is wrapped up and fighting games are on fire again in a way they haven't been in a very long time. About a year and change ago, I made a video asking, are we about to enter the new golden age of fighting games? And I think we are just about there finally. Specifically 2023, I think, begins the new golden age of fighting games. And everything happening in and around EVO 2023 is an excellent example why, and not the least of which is EVO is back, right? We've missed quite a few EVOs due to COVID, and even before COVID, the unpleasantness of the 1 year. I don't think we need to get back into that one again, right? But yeah, EVO is back. And back under new management, and apparently from everything I've been told on site, everything's like the best it's been in a long time. Maybe the ad break stuff people don't like as much, but besides that, that's a minor quibble, right? EVO's doing good. And everything that's been shown, announced on site and all that kind of stuff is showing the health of fighting games and the fighting game community moving forward. So basically, I just want to talk about a bunch of awesome things that are going on. How about the first one here? So Guilty Gear Strive just announced that they have finally sold over 1 million copies. And wow, that's just, like, you gotta understand, like, you read about, like, Call of Duty or something, you see big numbers. Like, that's obviously nothing in comparison to that, right? And, like, we do have some titles that can pull big numbers in fighting games, like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat. But, like, an anime fighting game, super niche, like, this is something you would never really expect. Like, in the first, I believe, month, Guilty Gear Strive outsold like every other Guilty Gear ever because the numbers aren't that big. And this shows that Guilty Gear is starting to hit a more mainstream audience, that they can pull in such an amazing number, and that's great. And of course, the future of Guilty Gear Strive is very bright because we have the crossplay beta coming next month in September, and as soon as the kinks get figured out on that, they're just going to roll it out immediately. And that's another major thing for fighting games is crossplay. It's finally becoming the standard. Like, we fought so long and so hard for rollback netcode to become the standard, and that's finally happening. Only really started last year, and even old dinosaur games like Dragon Ball FighterZ is finally getting rollback netcode as well, right? That's amazing. So we finally got rollback starting to be the standard, and now crossplay as well. Like, Multiverse is crossplay with everything. Street Fighter 6 is going to be crossplay PC, PlayStation, Xbox. We have the beta there, so PC and PlayStation can crossplay with Guilty Gear Strive. So now the walls between the various communities, even though for a greater community in whatever given game, the walls between the platforms are finally breaking down, and that is just amazing for every game. It is absolutely to the benefit of every single game to have the biggest possible player base, just for matchmaking terms, and also just like, hey, say Street Fighter 6, you want practice against E-Honda, but the best Honda player you know is on Xbox and you're on PlayStation. Oh well. Now that gate in front of you will be removed. You can play against anyone you want. That's fantastic. Fighting games are modernizing in a big way because let's be frankly honest here, like, as a competitive genre, fighting games were like behind everyone else, right? Like, we were the dinosaur genre. Sure, we had our fun. We have a lot of fun, but compared to a lot of other games, we're just, steps behind, and now those steps are being caught up in a big way. Like, just the company's mindset, especially the Japanese companies, are changing in a big way too to help modernize. Like SNK. Before King of Fighters 15, SNK, I would say, had the worst online experience of any game you could play. Like, delay was always bad, but SNK delay was bad in a way that was even beyond the other things. And now they delayed the game to make sure King of Fighters 15 would have rollback netcode, and now also they're adding crossplay between everything. They're adding rollback to Samurai Showdown. One of the biggest mistakes was not having rollback for Samurai Showdown. They're turning it around big time. And frankly, everyone is turning it around big time. There's nothing but like huge hype for the future of fighting games, and that's amazing. Old games get new shots at life through rollback. You can just be assured new games will be modern out of the gate. That's great. And plus, hey, like, big announcements like friggin' Mark of the Wolves 2 is coming. That's pretty big. Like, a new Fatal Fury game coming in the future. Who would have ever thought? But everything with fighting games is so magic now. Anything is possible. So I know that's a lot of me gushing just about everything that's going on right now, but that's kind of the point, is I'm gushing, man. There's just nothing but good things going on. Lots of other little things too, like there was a great showcase of indie titles, either through like advertisements or just giving them panels, like Punch Planet had their own panel. If you haven't checked out any of the indie showcases at EVO, I highly suggest you do. But on like major scales, like the AAA titles, and on the lower end too, there's just so much coming. Another thing, this is something I specifically noticed, I didn't see really anyone talking about, but just to show that people believe there's money to be made in the future of fighting games, a lot of the ads, there's a lot of ads for controllers and arcade sticks and all that kind of stuff. I have not seen such a push on the hardware front like I did at this EVO since like the Street Fighter 4 glory days, because the companies think there's a lot of money to be made, and they're probably right, especially with Street Fighter 6 going to be leading the charge next year, right? So this is like kind of the beginning, and expect a lot more of people just pushing hardware, because fighting game players love their specialty controllers, right? To me, it's just another good indicator of health for fighting games in general. Like, they announced a new Victrix model with a hitbox style layout. I have a Victrix myself. I pre-ordered it, so the advertising worked on me. But just think of the things we have to look forward to starting, say, in 2023 and moving forwards. We have Street Fighter 6, like the King Kong Big Daddy, right? It's back in a big way, and I don't need to gush too much about that. We know how it is, and they're doing everything right. Everything about Street Fighter 6 has been a home run so far, and everyone's loving everything. So that's great, right? We have continuing titles, King of Fighters 15, as you're seeing on screen right now. So it's going to have crossplay between all systems and a Season 2 of content, of which we'll find out whatever that's going to be. Guilty Gear Strive is going to keep going strong for many years to come. Crossplay coming very soon for that. We have monstrously huge titles coming in the future. We have Project L, which might be the biggest fighting game of all time, man. We don't even know, right? But Project L is going to be a titan among titans. Multiverses! Apparently it's pulled in over 10 million unique players, and the game's technically not even out yet. So the health of Multiverses cannot be in dispute. This game is going to be a big deal and running a big chunk of the FGC for the future, it would seem. Other big titles that aren't even announced, but we know they're coming, like Tekken 8 is coming, Mortal Kombat 12 is coming. Like, there is so much big stuff going on in the very near future. A lot of this stuff will be 2023, and whatever it is, it'll be 2024 probably. But there's just so many big things. And other things too, like old franchises might be returning, like Virtua Fighter. Like, they've very heavily hinted that Virtua Fighter will be returning for Virtua Fighter 6. Like, who knows the date on that? But the franchise is, for the most part, been long dormant. Like, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown was effectively a test case to see if it was worth, picking up the franchise again. And apparently it was. Like, let's look at it this way. 2023, and you pick up whatever new fighting game, right? You can buy that game and not worry if it works online. Like, if you've been playing fighting games for any amount of years, you know how crazy that is? Like, that statement, you can just buy the game and you're like, oh yeah, it'll work. Like, you don't gotta be worried. Like, it's been nothing but worry for the longest time, and now we're finally modern. We finally work like other video games do, that you can just buy and like, oh yeah, it works. Like, I'm not too worried. Like, that's crazy. And well deserved. We deserved this a long time ago. Like, it should not have taken as long as it did to get to this point, but it finally did. And also, like, it looks like, yeah, okay, if I buy it on PlayStation, I can play with my friends on Xbox, I can play with my friends on PC. Like, crossplay was the other big fight, and it looks like we're also just finally there. In a lot of ways, the genre as a whole is just finally there. And it's taken so long, but I'm so happy to finally say it, Now, when we can complain, bitch, and nitpick everything, we can do it on the basis of the game itself, Like, we can just complain about the game versus the usual existential problems the genre as a whole has had. What a refreshing idea that is. So it's a little bit out in the future. A lot of this stuff is starting next year, right? But it just goes to show, man, the future is as bright as it's been in a very, very long time. I have not seen this much excitement about just fighting games as a genre as a whole since basically the big revival of fighting games in 2009, starting with Street Fighter 4. Whatever game you're interested in, whatever game you want to play, across the board, for the most part, it's just a damn good time to be a fighting game player. And that's basically what I have to say. No negativity here, just nothing but positivity. Things are looking good, and things are going to be even better in the future. If you've been here for a long time like I have, man, this is one of the best times ever for fighting games coming up. This is the new golden age of fighting games coming up, guaranteed. So many good things are on the horizon, and I'm just so happy about everything. So when the time comes and the good times are here and we can start complaining about more stupid stuff, like I'll complain about lack of T-Hawk in Street Fighter 6 or something like that, right? But when I get to do that and I don't gotta complain about lack of features, bad netcode, no crossplay, you know, the usual stuff, that's a good time. That's just a good time. Anyways, I don't know. I'm basically rambling at this point. I'm just happy. Evo has brought just so much good times, good vibes across the board, and I'm just very excited for the future of fighting games as a whole. So that's me. Let me know what you think in the comments below, but otherwise, well, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.
Yeah.